the tip to field.
Tuesday, June 3rd, and it was game 59 of 162. And the Yankees were back in the Bronx to take on their American League Championship Series opponent from last year, the Cleveland Guardians. Carlos Rodon on the mound, looking to continue his hot start to the season. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
All right, we'll take it. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Well, we lost Luke Weaver, and a lot of people were asking who the Yankees would go to in a save situation. Would Devin Williams be the guy? And we got the answer tonight. Devin Williams got the call. He gave up an earned run. He made it close. He allowed the tying run to get to scoring position, but ultimately he got it done. Return of Jazz Chisholm tonight. Return of Fernando Cruz back on the roster. I was also surprised to see that they sent down Jorbit Vivas instead of Pablo Reyes. But I think that Vivas has, a potential to be a starter in the major leagues. So they want to continue to give him regular at-bats and, see if they can get him back into a rhythm just in case you need him again to come up and fill in for somebody. But, we had a home run from Volpe tonight. We had another base knock from DJ LeMahieu. And this was a very quick game, courtesy of Carlos Rodon, who was dealing again. 7 phenomenal innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. He lowers his ERA to 2.49 on the season, and the Yankees win 3-2. Man, I tell you what, it feels good to be watching games at a normal time again. Does anybody else feel like that road trip lasted forever? I'm telling you, 2 West Coast trips in a span of about 3 weeks absolutely kicked the piss out of me. My circadian rhythm is completely messed up. I didn't know what day it was towards the end of that streak, but back into a normal schedule, hopefully. Richard C. says DJ and Jazz should switch positions. They just did. They just did switch tonight.
Let's get it going.
First game for Jazz back at third base this year. Both teams were very quiet early. Rodon actually pitched into a jam in the first inning. And that Guardians fans are frustrated because you had a chance right out of the gate to get to Rodon, but he got a couple of big strikeouts to get out of it. And then Tanner Bybee, you could tell he was sharp right out of the gate, struck out the side in the first inning. Yankees didn't get their first base runner until the bottom of the fourth inning when Aaron Judge drew the walk. First hit was actually off the bat of Jazz Chisholm. It was a soft bloop single trying to pull the ball, but inside outed it. But it broke up the no-no. And then J.C. Escarra walked, and DJ LeMahieu picked up his 5th hit in 2 games to drive in Jazz, who was flying around the bases. And look, that's what we want Jazz to do. I want him, I know he hit the home run tonight also, we'll talk about that in a second, but we want him to be able to score, to wreak havoc on the bases, and that's what he did. He got on first base, he distracted the pitcher from Escarra. Escarra drew the walk, and then DJ took advantage. And DJ not hitting the ball very hard, but, at least he's putting the ball in the air. Last year, he was hitting ground ball after ground ball after ground ball. It was so frustrating. And if he can dunk those little soft base hits in now and again, he's hitting 245 with a 642 OPS. He's not crushing the baseball, but he's at least picking up some hits. And if you get hits with guys on base, you're going to get some RBIs. So Guardians did tie it up in the 7th base hit by Ramirez, and then there was a ground ball that I felt like DJ LeMahieu should have had.
Defense.
But it ate him up and tried to make a sliding stop when I really didn't think he needed to. Run ended up scoring. Rodon got through the 7th inning and stranded a runner on third base. I thought that was a big, big out to get out of that inning. He finished with 7 innings of 1-run baseball. I'll talk more about him in the pitcher spotlight, obviously. But first, the Torpedo Boys. Jazz Chisholm back after it.
You like Jazz?
Home run number 8. Second hit of the game. And that put the Yankees back out in front. Crowd went nuts. Jazz took about a half hour to get down to first base. That's a lot of swag for a first row home run. He was acting like when Ruben Sierra hit one in the bleachers in the ALCS ALDS at the old stadium, and he was dancing and doing his his routine, salsa routine on the way to first base, tipping the cap, and Jazz was doing the same thing. It was a first row shot. I mean, if you're going to do that, I mean, I appreciate the home run as much as anybody. Maybe make sure it gets at least 10 rows deep or into the second deck. Anyway, we'll take it. And then Anthony Volpe followed up with a dinger. Second home run in a row. We call that back-to-back and a belly-to-belly. Volpe swung the bat well tonight. He also smoked one to right field that got caught. And then obviously the dinger. 7 great innings from Rodon. Devin Williams made it interesting. But in the end, he did get it done, and the Yankees take game 1 of the series.
Game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Brian Bashman says, to all of those who were hoping before the season started that DJ would be your starting second baseman, congratulations. You're welcome. Richard C. says, Cleveland looks bad. Tigers' record is inflated. I don't know about that. I mean, the Tigers looked pretty good when we saw them, and Tariq Skubal is the real deal. Jack Flaherty, we know, can pitch, and Gleyber Torres having a pretty good year out there. Tommy Kahnle, last I saw, was having a good year. I haven't checked on him lately. But tonight was difficult. I could have gone a couple of ways with the belt, and I thought to myself, what would Harvey Two-Face from the Batman series do? How would he decide this? And he would let fate decide. So I actually took a quarter, and full disclosure, I assigned heads to Carlos Rodon and tails to Jazz Chisholm. And now we make the reveal. Jazz Chisholm. Second belt of the year. We let fate decide. Don't blame me. A lot of people saying Rodon for the belt. Blame the universe. I am taking myself out of the equation on this one. Some people said we should have gone a co-belt. We probably could have. But ultimately, I thought it would be more fun to do the Harvey Two-Face bit. I've been wanting to do it. Now is the perfect time. My camera is tracking me, and I want to turn that off, so give me a second. Second belt of the year for Jazz. And look, couple of hits. Look good. We're going to spotlight him more during the Arena Club segment in just a minute. But first, let's talk about Mr. Carlos Rodon, because he deserves an honorable mention at the very least, and he deserves a pitcher spotlight. We got people saying that was highway robbery. I'm saying, don't blame me. Don't come after me. I am just the messenger from the universe, from fate. It was fate that decided this one. So no signs of Carlos Rodon slowing down. So I'm sure he'll win a few more belts this year. But tonight was more of what we've seen. Since he finally put it together earlier this year, he was effective, he was efficient, he was confident, expertly mixing his pitches in all sorts of counts, getting tons of swings and misses, 13 whiffs, not as many as he had last time out when he had 21, but the velocity was good, 97.1, that was up a tick. Curveball had guys out in front, and he was throwing it early in the count like we've been telling him to do, getting guys off balance, and then he could ride that fastball up or throw it on the outside corner where he was dotting it when he wanted to. And then once you got a couple of strikes on guys, just drop that hard slider down and in, and it had all sorts of bite tonight. 93 pitches, 64 strikes, so another very good ratio. I thought he was going to get deeper in the game. When he entered the 7th inning, he had 70 pitches, but the 7th inning kind of got a little tough on him. I thought he was fantastic. Retired 17 hitters in a row at one point. And he doesn't get the co-belt, but he gets an honorable mention. Nice performance. Terrific job. I do want to talk a little bit more about Jazz. This sponsorship, or this segment sponsored by Arena Club. So we got his card up there. He's back. And you could feel Yankee Stadium kind of perk up a little bit when he came up for that first roll call, or came up for his first at bat and during the roll call. He went deep. He had a soft single to left field. He made a great play at third base. He got some help from Paul Goldschmidt on that play, but a very strong arm, which is one of the reasons they want him over there. I think it's interesting that they did switch him back to third base because DJ, I'm not even sure that he has the mobility anymore to play second base. He has not looked particularly good there. He made a couple of decent plays, but tonight was an example. I mean, not the DJ that we're used to at second base. Maybe they think he's healthy. His feet are healthy. I don't know. I want to see it, but tough game at second for DJ today. Jazz, I like him in the field no matter where you put him. I have kind of a bizarre take on Jazz, though, for a night where he hit a home run that ended up being a big part of the win. Remember, he came out of the gate this year on fire. He was hitting all sorts of home runs, but the more home runs he hit, it seemed like the longer his swing would get, right? It seemed like he was trying to lift and separate and hit home runs like every swing. And I don't want to make the assumption that that's what the guy was doing, but that's what it looked like to me. And I think he feels like he's got to be a 35, 40 home run guy to help this team win or to help any team win or to get paid. And people love the entertainment. When he hits one in the second deck and he does the jump shot or whatever, or if he hits one in the first row like he did tonight and takes a half an hour to get to first, people love that, right? I mean, some people hate it, but the young folks, they love it. And look, I get he's an entertainment figure, but let's be honest. The Jazz that's the best is the Jazz who's getting on base and disrupting pitchers and stealing bags and scoring runs. We don't need him to be a home run or nothing guy. He's not built to be Aaron Judge. He doesn't have to be. Exit velo, barrel rate, launch angle, all that sexy StatCast stuff. I get it. It's fun. I want the guy who causes pitchers to lose focus with Aaron Judge at the plate or with Paul Goldschmidt at the plate or with Ben Rice at the plate. His real value was what we saw in Miami. Explosive on the bases, dangerous at the plate because he's got pop, but really just a guy who is trying to make contact more so than find the short porch. First month of the season, he looked like a guy who believed he could hit 40 dingers. And, who could blame him the way guys are getting paid right now? He saw the Soto contract. He wants to be a guy who gets hundreds of millions of dollars. But I'm confident that the moment he leans into being the player that he actually should be, a 270, 280 hitter with 25 homers, 35 steals, and 120 runs, that's the moment he really gets paid and really, really gets accepted by the entire fan base. Just like Carlos Rodon leaned into being a more complete pitcher and now the fan base loves him, Jazz can do the same thing just by cutting down on that swing a little bit. But good job tonight with the home run. Quick word from Arena Club, then we got some talk on Lombard Jr., and we got a bunch of super chats and comments coming in. Back in 60 seconds.
If you're a card collector or you'd like to get into card collecting, may I suggest Arena Club and slab packs, which means that you can rip the packs digitally and, of course, get the card that you want. It's also the most trusted name in the game, and I would rather rip packs these days on my phone than sit next to you and have you grabbing one of my physical packs if I was grabbing one.
Yeah, you don't need me grabbing your packs because last time you grabbed one, it ended up like this card. So let's not have that, and that's why Arena Club is great. They send them to you in these fancy protectors like this Scout Brown card that we have here, and they'll come safe. They're already graded, or you could do like I do and just leave my cards in the showroom and never actually see them physically.
Yeah.
But they're safe, protected, and if I want to sell them, I can.
Buy, sell, trade. They offer full transparency, showing every card in the slab pack with the likelihood of pulling each one so you know exactly what's available before you buy. Get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul and use code FOUL.
All right. So happy belated birthday to our number one prospect, Mr. George Lombard Jr., just turned 20 years old. He has been struggling a little bit since he got moved up to AA. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Almost every player has kind of a learning adjustment when they go from A to AA. It's a very, very tough jump. And then even bigger jump from the minor leagues to the majors, whether it's AAA to the majors or even longer AA to the majors, which some people do. I wouldn't expect him to get called up this year, given how he struggled. There was a chance on the outside if he just absolutely raked that you could see him on the express road to the major leagues. But now with, Jazz playing third base and Volpe continues to play well at shortstop and, you got DJ back and he's doing okay. I think you can afford to be even more patient with Lombard and hope that by next year he's ready. 329 with one home run and a 495 on base percentage at A+, 983 OPS at that level. And then since coming to Double-A, he's hitting 185, no home runs yet, 346 on base percentage, which is still promising. It still shows a command of the strike zone, and a 568 OPS at Double-A. So that's where he's at. Hopefully he'll get it going, and we'll be able to watch him on the rise. I expect him to compete for an infield spot next spring. I really do. All right. Get some comments here. Here's a call about Volpe.
Hey, what's up, Derek? I've been watching the game, and here at my job, I don't have my phone, so I usually just run into, like, old Yankee Facebook clips, and honestly, I'm really liking this version of what we're seeing of Volpe this year. Like, his OBP is a lot better, which is pretty much what I care about, given his base running value can be so good, and him being at the bottom of the order, because I ran into the clip of that Game 2 9th inning in the World Series last year, and Anthony Volpe took probably the most incompetent at-bat that I've ever seen.
All right, well, it goes on for a bit. We got to give Volpe some credit, hitting to a 760 OPS this year. The average isn't great, 241, but it's not bad. It's about what league average is right now. I think the major league average was something like 239. It's not great. He is playing solid short again. He had a couple of bumps there in the road, but home run tonight, big home run, ended up being the game winner from Anthony Volpe. Ashland says, are we trusting Williams in the closer position with Weaver out? I don't know if we are. You may be. I'm not. I'm not. As Hoodie says, went from cardiac clay to diastolic Devon. I don't even know what diastolic means, but it doesn't sound fun. Anyway. All right, so let's see what we got here. BTR says, Widowmaker Williams. I like it. I like it. All right, so that's where we're at. Yankees take this one. Let's go through the standings real quick as we look at Major League Baseball. Yankees at 37-22. They are 6 games up right now on the Blue Jays. And it kind of goes back and forth between the Blue Jays and the Rays. But at this point, it really does look like the Yankees are going to pretty much cruise in the American League East. You know, I think that as long as they avoid any major injuries, they shouldn't have that slump they had the last couple of years midsummer. I feel like the team is just more well-rounded. I feel like the pitching is solid enough. We're going to probably blow some games in the 9th inning with Devin Williams. I like Widowmaker Williams. That seems like the fan favorite in the chat. Tigers at 40-21. They're 19 games over 500. And they continue to play really, really well. Guardians now 32-27. And then the Mariners and Astros now tied in the American League West as the Astros continue to surge. The last few years, the Mariners have gotten off to decent starts and then kind of faded. And the Astros typically get off to a slow start and then pick it up. Rangers hanging in there. They're under 500, but at 4 games back, I don't think they're going to be sellers. We've seen some people talk about perhaps Jacob deGrom getting traded at the deadline. I don't see it. I think they're going to hang in there. And I think there's going to be kind of a slow deadline this year because so many teams are in it, right? I mean, all of these AL Central teams are in it. They're all in the playoff hunt. They all probably need one piece. We've seen the Royals be aggressive in the past. You know, in the AL East, the Blue Jays, Rays, and probably the Red Sox are going to be buyers along with the Yankees, right? And there's just so many players to go around. You go over to the NL East, Mets back out in front of the Phillies. They've been playing better. I haven't checked on our guy Soto lately. How's he doing? Phillies, game and a half back. Nationals, 10 games back. So that's really a 2-team race at this point, but the Braves could surge. They got off to a slow start. Cubs, they are 4.5 up in the Central over the Cardinals. A lot of people saying Ryan Helsley in the chat. I don't see the Cardinals trading Helsley. I can't see them packing up their gear and giving up on the season 4 games back with a record over 500. And then the Dodgers, just 1 game up on the Padres, couple games up, or 3 games up on the Giants. My dream scenario is that the Dodgers miss the playoffs. That's my dream scenario, right? I mean, you could give me anything else in the world. Yankees World Series is number 1. Dodgers missing the playoffs is number 2. Yeah, I don't want anything. I don't even want them in the conversation. They have our number. But anyway, it sounds like Soto had 2 home runs today. Is that true? Anyway, El Nino says, "Do the Yankees make a trade for Walker Buehler if he's on the trade block? If he's on the block, I mean, maybe. We'll see." We got another super chat here from BTR, more like Widowmaker Williams, and then Richard C says, "More like Diarrhea Devin." Yikes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good night for the Yankees. Reminder to like and subscribe. I was told if you look right into the camera and say it, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I'm putting on the voodoo. It's supposed it's supposed to psychologically affect you. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next. If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. You can also be a part of the show by calling in at 718-899-1068. Also, part of the way that we maintain and fund all of this is through NYYDesigns.shop. Check it out now. Get all sorts of fun Yankees merch, hats, hoodies, zip-ups, beanies, mugs, you name it. We've got it. Check it out, NYYDesigns.shop. And check out Pinstripe Territory on all your favorite podcast platforms. We are the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We're here for post-game shows after every single game, and we're here before a lot of games to talk about the game, preview the lineup, the pitching matchups, and things like that. And we're here all off-season to talk about the latest in Yankees rumors, news, etc. Join our community. We'll see you next time.